Anyone who would be in the same room or the room next to me, traveling or being in the same house would say, "Phyllis, you snore."
My wife had been aware of my snoring since, I guess, since we were married, and she just would be driven out of the room, not being able to sleep at night.
If I'm going somewhere, if it's a 2 or 3 hour flight, it's a great time to take a nap for me. And so I warn people who are next to me, and I say, listen, if I'm snoring, you have permission to nudge me and wake me up. I don't want you to have to live through this.
Having sleep apnea has affected my life tremendously. It's affected the quality of my alertness, of my work performance, basically every aspect of life.
Obstructive sleep apnea is the blockage of the upper airway during sleep at night. It causes the patient to slightly awake and not have a very good night's sleep. This can happen several hundred times per night.
Last 2 years probably so tired I could hardly just go. I was just completely exhausted, and standing up and lecturing I would feel like I was just going to tip over.
I was tired quite often, and I used to respond to that either with coffee or vitamins. I was always looking for something to give me an energy burst.
I'd tried over the last few years strips on my nose, sprays in my throat. I got this thing off the internet that I inserted into my nose. It was supposed to hold my nose open to keep it quieter, and just none of it was effective enough for the volume of snoring.
But when I heard about the Restore implant, I thought, boy, what's the risk? There is no risk. If I can try this, and if it works, then I'll save myself from having to go through surgery or having to sleep with the machine connected to my face for the rest of my life.
The pillar procedure is done in the office. It is a one-time procedure, and the patients do not have to wear a mask or any type of device on a nightly basis.
The pillar procedure utilizes this delivery device to place 3 small inserts into the roof of the mouth, and this provides for a stiff palate, providing relief of sleep apnea.
He ran through what the procedure was, why it was effective. He checked the size of my palate, the thickness of it. He went from the inside. He checked my tongue and kind of just did a lot of checks to say, looks like you're a good candidate for this.
Well, I was hoping I was a candidate, so I was ready from the first time I read about it.
I chose the pillar procedure because it seemed a lot less invasive. It was a one-time procedure that was done, in the doctor's office. I was there for 5-10 minutes maybe, and then back on the road again.
This provides a procedure that can be done in the office. It can allow individuals to go back to all of their activities. It takes the individual out of the hospital, out of the operating room setting.
So it was a risk that was worth taking, and a low risk at that.
It is done with a local anesthetic, which is easier and less painful than going to the dentist. The actual implant procedure probably takes 45 seconds.
I was willing to take the chance because it didn't seem like a great risk. It didn't seem like the pillar implants were going to be a big deal.
It really falls into the most minor of any kind of procedure.
The downside is, to me, fairly minimal.
So for me, it was a much preferred option as opposed to surgery.
I'm the biggest chicken in the world, and I hate pain, so I don't want my patients having pain.
The procedure itself wasn't painful.
I would much rather have the pillar procedure than having a tooth pulled.
It was over in just a few minutes.
There's minimal or no pain at all. In fact, patients of mine who've had the pillar implant have often gone back to work the same day. I had a comedian who came to see me, and that comedian had the procedure done midday, performed that night.
Basically painless, only took a short period of time, and the benefits, clearly outweighed anything associated with it. It made a lot of sense.
The first few nights after pillar, I started having noticeably improved sleeping, and several weeks into it, it was dramatic at the level of improvement in my sleep. I was dreaming, I think, within the first 2 or 3 nights.
It makes me as a physician feel so good when patients come back and say, this worked, I feel better, my quality of life is better, I'm back at work, I'm back with my bedmate, I'm back with my friends going golfing, fishing, traveling.
Now, I would have to say it's probably 95, 98% gone, my snoring.
It seemed so simple that I was like shocked and amazed when I first saw the effects on my patients.
Having the pillar procedures helped me get off of CPAP. I'm now free of CPAP, and it feels really, really good.
A recent study has demonstrated that the pillar procedure is showing long-term benefits to patients.
In fact, I don't really notice it at all. It's up there, it's firmed up my palate, I'm sleeping better at night, I'm getting better rest than I've had in years, sleeping less number of hours and still feeling rested.
I'm so glad that this is not hype, this is reality.
I have more energy to do everything with my family, especially my children. They've noticed it a lot. Daddy's not on the couch anymore. He's actually outside doing stuff with them. And
I've already recommended the pillar procedure to a number of guys in my office, actually just inadvertently because I was raving on about how great it was to have had this done.
I had a friend who just got diagnosed with mild sleep apnea, and I said, this is what you need to do. Sent her the information and said, go for it. You cannot lose.
Well, I've already recommended for my friends.
I think the first indicator that I was doing better was the first time I had a dream. It was about a month after the procedure. I have not had a dream in years. And I woke up the next morning and I thought, boy, that was the weirdest dream. And I was like, that was the weirdest dream. I had a dream.